Good morning, everyone. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us today at the iGlobal Project Launch online seminar. My name is Alex Martiniak, and I am the Executive Director of the European Union Chamber of Commerce in Canada West and the Interim Executive Director of the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Canada West, both organizations coordinating the project here in Western Canada. I will be your host today as we are going to introduce this interesting and exciting project financed by the European Union. The Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs Global is an exchange program which gives, at no cost, experienced entrepreneurs from Canada an opportunity to collaborate with new or aspiring entrepreneurs from the European Union and the UK. By participating in this program and by hosting a young entrepreneur from Europe, Canadian companies can acquire new horizons, knowledge, and access to European markets, discover new potential cooperation opportunities and collaboration with new entrepreneurs, as well as find innovative solutions and fresh new ideas to improve their business. Today's event is brought to you by the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Canada West in collaboration with the EU Chamber of Commerce in Canada West and the Italy, Germany Chamber of Commerce and the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs Global program. Before I introduce you to our special guests who will be connecting today from Europe and from the US, I would like to invite Mr. Celso Boscario, who is the president of both the Italian and the EU Chambers of Commerce in Canada West, to say a few welcome remarks. Celso, the floor is yours.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Alex. It certainly is a pleasure to be here today to join in the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs Global Exchange Program. And congratulations on your participation in such a worthy program. And, I'd like to point out that mentorship is crucial to career development. And for example, I certainly benefited from it greatly during the course of my career. And I was really reminded of that the other day when the mentor that I had earlier on in my career called me up to announce his retirement from the practice of law. And I owed a great deal to him because what I learned from him was, the invaluable knowledge and know-how that wasn't imparted upon me in law school, wasn't contained in the bar admission course that I took. So through the formal training that you would receive, whether it's in engineering, whether it's in an MBA program, or whether it's in the Faculty of Commerce at a university or some other technical or commercial institute. And what they provide you is that indispensable knowledge and know-how on how to approach problems, how to assess problems, and most importantly, maybe how to see what's coming, like what's the commercial weather like? Where are the business winds blowing from? And where are the countervailing winds blowing from that'll buffet and toss your business around in the open sea like a boat? And with that knowledge, they can help you steer through those stormy waters. And the insights and skills that they have are, again, those that are imparted, say, hands-on or during the course of a conversation. Of course, now most of those conversations will be held virtually because of the COVID pandemic. And that in itself has already taught us a new way of doing business and carry on commercial activity, but as well in the future when you get a chance to meet with them personally. And I also think the mentors benefit greatly from this program, from exposure to you as young entrepreneurs, because you're the next wave of innovators. You're the next wave of business leaders. You're the next wave of people that will, shall we say, disrupt the commercial world. And I don't say disruption in a negative sense, but disruption in a positive sense, in the things that new innovations, social media in this digital age come along, which have transformed the business world. And I certainly face it in my own life as a lawyer. And thank God for the young lawyers that we have coming into the firm who have great ability with the technology and working with social media in this digital age, that they're able to teach us how to manage and work with it. And so what you do is combining, the skills that were acquired from before with the skills of a new age. So it is a two-way program. And, so you should be also, we should also be thankful for your participation and what you can teach us as well. And finally, and although hopefully we are nearing the end of the COVID plague or the COVID pandemic, we're approaching vaccination. I know I got my second jab the other day. Many people are now lining up to wait for it. So that will open borders, facilitate travel. But we've learned a lot during this COVID period on how to carry on business and how to conduct business virtually and digitally. And I think those will remain. Of course, there is no substitute for face-to-face contact, but nevertheless, we have learned new ways of doing this. And I think those challenges that we confronted with this pandemic will certainly serve us in good stead going forward. So in closing, I'd like to wish you all the best in this program. We're thankful that you're participating. We're pleased to be part of this. And if you have any questions, of course, Alex is here. I can be reached through the chamber and be most happy to talk to anyone. And of course, I'd like to thank also the mentors that are participating and giving of their time, because that's the most valuable thing we have to offer in this day and age is time. And that time is, rolled into that is our intellectual capacity, is our business know-how, is our, our personalities that make us what we are and make businesses what they are. So again, with that, congratulations and thank you for your participation and all the best. Grazie e buon proseguimento.
Thank you, Charles, for the great welcome remarks and summarizing the project, which is a win-win for both young entrepreneurs and the host entrepreneurs here. It's a great program. So we will now play a short video, and then after the video, we will continue with introducing the program to you and bringing some speakers that we've invited for today. So let's play the video right now.
You have a business idea and you've worked hard on creating a business plan. You've taken the first steps to turn your dream into reality. But let's face it, navigating the world of business requires many different skills. You could probably use some hands-on advice from an experienced entrepreneur to discover how things are done at a more mature company. The Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program might be just what you're looking for. It offers starting entrepreneurs the possibility to travel to one of over 40 participating countries and to work up to 6 months together with an experienced hosting entrepreneur. During this exchange, both of you will discover new ways of growing your own businesses in an international environment. There is no age limit. All starting entrepreneurs from participating countries with a concrete business plan can apply. Are you on the other side of the partnership and you want to host starting entrepreneurs? If you've run a successful business for 3 years or more, you can apply to become a host. We've established over 10,000 partnerships with over 170 contact points in the past 11 years. So, it's a unique chance to expand your network and seize new opportunities abroad. The program is funded by the European Union, which will partly cover the costs of your stay abroad. To participate, check out erasmus-entrepreneurs.eu and get in touch with the local contact point in your country. Expand your horizons. Don't wait any longer. New business opportunities are awaiting.
Excellent. Well, if you wish to learn more about this program and how to get involved, please also during this webinar, refer to a chat for all contact information, websites, and resources that will be provided there. And on the technical side of things, please note that you can address any questions in the Q&A tab below, and we will answer them, try and answer them all at the end of the presentation. Well, it is now time that I introduce to you our first special guest connecting from Germany, Mrs. Linda Schmidtman. She's a junior project manager at the Italy-Germany Chamber of Commerce in Frankfurt, which is the program coordinator. And Linda will briefly introduce the iGlobal project and will explain what it is about and who can participate and how it exactly works. This program has been already going on in Europe since 2009, but it's the worldwide edition is a new project. So welcome, Linda. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Alex, and thank you all for having me. I will just now share the screen with you. So yeah. Thanks for having me. Exactly as Alex already said, I'm Linda Schmidtman. I'm the project coordinator of the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program at the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Germany. We are participating in the European Union in the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program that is, let's say, limited to the EU member states, the UK, and some other countries. And now we are also leading the program on a global basis, and we're covering also Canada. So we are implementing the program in collaboration with Alex and the Chamber of Commerce, the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Canada West and the EU Chamber of Commerce. Okay, let me see. Okay, as Alex already said, I will briefly introduce to you the program, what it is about, who can participate, some of the benefits. I think you already saw most of it in the video. I will also present to you some success stories to give you some concrete examples to get a better idea of how this kind of collaboration could look like. And in the end, also some advice on how to participate. Okay, so here you see some very general key facts on the program. As Alex already said, the European Commission initiated the program in 2009 in order to stimulate and strengthen entrepreneurship and encourage cross-border trade in the European Union and increase the competitiveness of small and medium enterprises. So the I Global version, so I is the abbreviation of the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs. The pilot project was started in 2018, and in the beginning it only covered the USA, Singapore, and Israel. So since this year, the program is also further extended to Canada, South Korea, and Taiwan. And as you already saw before, until now we have more than 10,000 business exchanges that already happened. We have more than 17,000 applications from the new and aspiring entrepreneurs, and more than 10,000 applications of hosts. And by now we have more than 45 countries that are involved. Yeah, so what it is about, I think you already got a good idea of it. It's a business and competence exchange program. So at its core, there is a collaboration between an experienced entrepreneur and an aspiring or young entrepreneur. What's important at this point is that it's no internship, but it's really a collaboration, and the entrepreneurs transfer their know-how and skills. That means that you can both, the experienced and also the new or young entrepreneur, you can both acquire new skills that at the moment might lack at your company. For example, market insight, or also for young entrepreneurs on how to successfully run a business. So the stay and the exchange can last between 1 and 3 months at the company of the host, which means in this case in Canada. So it can last from 1 to 3 months in Canada. And we will see who can participate. On the one hand, it's the new entrepreneur. You already heard it's new or aspiring entrepreneurs that are firmly planning to set up their business, or that already have started one within the last 3 years. The minimum requirement is a business plan. So the person you can work with is potentially someone who already has a business plan, who has the citizenship of some European member state or the UK, and of course also a sound background knowledge to bring in this experience and in this exchange. On the other hand, there's the host entrepreneur, which can be experienced entrepreneurs who own or manage a small or medium-sized enterprise in British Columbia, and with more than 3 years cumulative experience in running a business. So what is important is not the company you're working at the moment, but what have you done, let's say, in your career. And then it is the new entrepreneur that would travel to the location of the host and there start a collaboration. For the host, the participation is free, but there's also no, let's say, financial support. It's only for the new entrepreneur, the person that is going to move and travel to the country of the host, okay? Good. So some benefits, I think you already got a quite good idea of that. So it's about gaining market insights, engaging in an exchange of competences. You can also get fresh perspectives on your own business, get some new input. The added value is, of course, also thanks to the new skills that are brought to your company. As already mentioned, if you maybe lack something right now, you can work with a person who brings the skill set to your company. And of course, it's about the extension of network to European markets, and also a first step to start a further collaboration then. Okay, today I brought you some examples, as I already said, success stories, as we call them. So, because I would also want you to get a better idea of how this program works. So for example, we had a new entrepreneur from Spain, Luis, and a host in Germany. So they were both working in the advertising and promotion sector. Also here at this point, for your information, the program is open to every sectors, and people from all business areas are registered. So it's not limited or anything. Okay, in this case, you see the new entrepreneur had the aim to understand better a multicultural and multilingual environment in a business, and also get a better understanding of digital and e-commerce. On the other hand, before the collaboration, the host stated that he wanted to improve his SEO strategy and also develop a business in the Spanish market. So the outcome of this exchange was that the host was able to adapt actually a new SEO strategy, and that he's now extending his business activities also in Spain. The new entrepreneur, on the other hand, he also got this knowledge in the promotion of its services, and he developed also his own business in the European market. So what they started was a fruitful long-term relationship. Okay, another example, just so, yeah, you get a even better idea. We have our new entrepreneur, Esan from Germany. He participated with us, and a host, Budino from Curaçao. As already mentioned, the program is not limited to the European member states, but it's also some outermost areas and regions. In this case, they came both from different sectors, education and training and IT. The new wanted to get some advice on his current business plan and develop his app and get some more user experience and user interface skills. On the other hand, the host wanted to develop some more marketing strategies and also create a new business plan for tackling the European market. So also during their collaboration, they worked on exactly these matters. They were redesigning the new entrepreneur's website and developing his app. And also the host was able to really tackle the European market and to get closer to it and open his business. So you can see also this collaboration was really the beginning of an expansion of two companies. And also what I can tell you, for example, Esan, he's now participating with us in Germany, again as a host, and he really got some good input out of this program. He's very successful and already got honored by the Chancellor Merkel for his commitment. So yeah, we have some interesting people participating in it. So very briefly on how to participate, you saw in the video the website of the European website that is dedicated to the European entrepreneurs especially, but there's also one you can check out for the global destinations. That is what I hope you can see it here. It's iglobal.eu. You can register there, click on apply now. You can insert in your profile some information on the company and your motivation. You could choose us as an intermediate organization because we are closely collaborating with the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Canada West. If you have any questions and you want to maybe get to know the program better, you can also contact Stefano. Also, what you can see in the chat, there's also the other email address. You can also get in contact maybe in the Q&A session. So this was it from my side. I really want to thank you for your attention. As already said, we're like the German contact point. So we are working especially with the German new and host entrepreneurs, but in the global version, we are also responsible for the exchanges with Canada, New York, and Singapore. So if you have further questions, you can also contact me. Good, thank you. That was it from my side.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much. Obviously there's going to be more questions. There might be some more questions that we will answer, so you might be able to answer at the end of towards the end of this webinar. I would like to now introduce our second guest, connecting now from New York. Alicia Biagini is a Deputy Executive Director at the Italy America Chamber of Commerce in New York. And Alicia participated, the Chamber of Commerce in New York participated already in the pilot edition of this project, of the Global iGlobal project in 2018. And she will now share with us their chamber's experiences and how their chamber implemented iGlobal in the US and what have been some of the most evident benefits for the host entrepreneurs in general. Alicia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Alex. So as everybody has already mentioned, honestly, the benefits are quite obvious for the host entrepreneurs, and we will be hearing later on from an actual host entrepreneur herself. So I'm sure she will shed even more light on the benefits that she received by hosting a new entrepreneur. But just to name a few, I mean, one of the major benefits is the possibility to mentor a young mind that, of course, can also help you with your current business and help you improve in specific sectors that maybe you're lacking knowledge or experience in and benefiting in that way. Another way that, of course, a host entrepreneur benefits from the program is, as we saw in the video, it's partially funded by the European Union. So there's also less cost that they have to sustain. Other than that, they also, especially if they participate as one of our host entrepreneurs, they actually get access to our network of contacts. So host companies are also, host entrepreneurs are also able to network amongst our contacts and over 10,000 businesses that belong to our organization. And so other than that, as you correctly said, Alex, we started the pilot project in 2018. The partners were slightly different back then, but we're still working and we still represent Union Camere Veneto here in the United States. They're the intermediary organization that helps connect our host entrepreneurs with the new entrepreneurs that are part of their network. And, in 2008, between 2018 and 2019, we were able to successfully connect over 65 new entrepreneurs with local host entrepreneurs. But we have a list of over 100 contacts, if I'm not mistaken, that would enable more entrepreneurs to actually come to the United States and be able to learn from someone more experienced for no more than 3 months. Other than that, I mean, everybody goes through a very rigorous process. They just have to upload some documents to the IT tool that is quite easy to complete. It only takes about 15 minutes. Once that is uploaded and all that information reviewed by either myself or someone else in the team, then we just have to approve the training plan. There's some more bureaucratic steps that are taken by either Linda or a representative from the Chamber of Commerce in Germany and our intermediary organization. And then just the next step is to obtain the visa to come here to the United States. There are 3 visas that are the most appropriate ones. And again, I can list them in the Q&A section if anybody is interested, but we can also make that information available after the presentation in case anybody's curious to know what the visas are. And then, you just make your way here to the United States. And our role then becomes to assist and help make sure that your experience here together with the host entrepreneur's experience is as successful and educational as possible so that everybody benefits from the exchange. Other than that, our new entrepreneurs benefit as well. Being part of the program, they're able to also be part of our network. They receive a complimentary Young Professionals membership, allowing them to participate in all our events and just having access to our membership base in general. Now, since the pilot project actually ended in 2019, we're on to the actual iGlobal project that you're currently also working on. And this year, our goal is to enable about 45 matches throughout the 4 years with new entrepreneurs and host entrepreneurs. And, it's been a little difficult given the pandemic and the travel ban, but, we're really looking forward to being able to help new entrepreneurs come to the United States and learn from local host entrepreneurs. The only other thing that we do also is to make sure that the host entrepreneurs are in the state of New York. That's the only state that we're allowed to match contacts with. And, that's pretty much it. I don't want to, take up too much time, but I think everything else was covered in the video and also with your presentation, Chelsea's presentation, and as well as Linda's presentation. But again, I'll be available if anybody has any questions at the end.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Alicia. We will now go on and introduce our final speakers that are testimonials, and speakers are joining us from the New York City as well. Orienta Crispino is the artistic director at the Theater Lab in New York, and she is the host entrepreneur in the US currently. And we also have Katarina Hoppel, a young entrepreneur from Europe that is currently participating in the iGlobal program as a new entrepreneur. I will now ask some questions to Orietta and Katarina about their experiences and feedback from their participation at the iGlobal project. But I'm also hoping that you will, the participants, send some more questions as we speak. So using the Q&A tab below, and then we will then answer them at the end of the conversation that I will now have with Orietta and Katarina. Orietta, first question for you. Could you tell us who you are, a little bit about yourself and your business, and how did you come across this program?
Hi, thanks for having me. My name is Orienta Crispino. I am the artistic director of a very small nonprofit arts organization dedicated to live arts. We host, present, and produce theater works, dance, some hybrid. We belong to that world. So I am Italian. I've been living in New York since 2000, I would say. And I run a venue in the middle of Manhattan, very small, small organization, small venue. Very unique. It's an all white space. And I do kind of experimental work. And I came across, actually the program came across me in the sense that I had no idea it existed, but a professor from University of Theater, University in Rome, we had some friends in common. I host a lot of international artists and Italian artists. And he had somebody telling him that it was Theater Lab, this white space and all of that. And he came and visited me and said, there's Emanuele, Emanuele Nargi does immersive theater and you should meet him. That's how I got to know the program. And so he said, why, there's this program, I want to work with you. That's how I submitted my profile.
Wonderful. Now, I wonder whether you would suggest this program to anyone, assuming that you are happy, and why would you suggest it? And maybe perhaps you can list a couple of 2-3 benefits that you kind of are the most important for you from that.
Well, I think first of all, we got to understand that we are properly an arts business, arts organization, very, very small. So it's really difficult to envision, the benefit in strict relationship to as a mom and pop business, you know, we do a little bit of everything, you know, so, and we don't make a lot of money, and we're also nonprofit. So, but I think for me is extremely, it's really interesting to meet young artists and younger artists who are starting to consider themselves entrepreneur. This is a new idea in the world of artists. You know, how do you make, you know, you turn your idea into a business, you know, and what do you need, the tools you need. So it's a very interesting exchange. And it happens in very different ways all the time, depending on the project and the expectation. So I think that one of the value is to being in touch with a generation that has a different approach to business and art. The opportunity to practice some good mentorship, sometimes in a hard way, you know, is not always easy. It is still a work in progress for me to craft the exchange and not making it become an internship, because it's not really an internship, and to find the balance, finding the quality of the relationship in between, you know, the crazy times, these crazy times, what, you know, how does the host feel about giving tasks to do, you know, my business, we have so many manual tasks and so many other, you know, how does it work? What is cogent and useful? You always have to think about what is useful in this exchange, you know? And I think, so I would definitely suggest the program, at least to try it once and see if your organization has the capacity to accept another perspective, because it's not just you telling somebody what to do, but it's also what they tell you. And that can tip the balance of the office or the organization. And you have to understand that that takes a little bit of capacity, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. As a matter of fact, it's completely different than an internship, because it's you know, you kind of start a conversation with another entrepreneur, and you don't know where it's gonna go. It's kind of unveils, you know, as you go. So that's very, very interesting and spontaneous. Would you would you see working with your entrepreneur that you're hosting? How is it? You know, like, do you think this relationship can sort of be ongoing after the program is finished?
Yeah, I mean, we are an audience-facing business, you know, and even though there are parts of this hall that can be done online, you know, remotely, and I think, you know, Katerina's wonderful, you know, she also has real skills, you know, like as a video editing and all of that, you know. So I see a possibility, but it would be more interesting to really envision a sort of a long-term exchange, you know, between the two worlds. But it's not easy, you know, it's difficult, but it could happen. I can, maybe within Europe might be a little easier than, you know, New York is far away, it's expensive, life is crazy, you know. So I think it's definitely a possibility. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually make it happen. The distance is quite something.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Like, I'd like to now ask a couple of questions. Obviously, we'll come back with more questions as well. But Katerina, I'd like to ask now your kind of experience. If you could share with us, you know, why did you participate? How did you hear about it? How did you participate in the program? And what do you think? You know, generally, what is your experience that you're gonna take back home after this? This program in New York?
So my name is Katharina Höppel. I'm an artist and young entrepreneur. And the difficulty for me since I started being self-employed was always to combine my art making with the, like, how to make money as an artist, how to establish my ideas also in a way that they actually serve someone, provide a service for anyone. So I'm always trying to merge these two things. And there has been, I'm a huge fan of Erasmus. So every studies that I've done, I've been on an exchange. And I was on this exchange in Israel for 2 semesters. And there I studied city design. And we were asked to look at cities in a way how they function, to choose for a site and to analyze them. And I was into architecture, but not an architect myself. So I started to analyze these roles and different functions. And I saw the site more like a site that functions as a theater, which was a completely different approach. And I didn't know what to do with it. Why am I seeing the space like this, completely different than anyone else? So I dragged this project years around the world in my travels. Like, I went to markets around the world and took photographs, analyzed them, and then I started to try developing something for Vienna. And I tried 3 times already to start it. I got in communication with the city and everyone. And then I just got scared and I took a step back again, tried to plan it better. So I had different stages of this project, which I didn't know what it was. And then I also started as an advertising agency, which was not really like matching with this. So I had this couple of projects where I didn't know what they are. And then I found Theater Lab and I thought, wow, that's like, their projects are similar. Also New York would be cool. And I think the aesthetics were very similar to what I have been working on in my projects. So this is how I got to know Orienta, and then we started our collaboration during the pandemic, because I remember Orienta was saying, like, when we met the first time, she was saying like, yeah, the best would be if you could just come right now. But that was not possible because of the pandemic. So we just talked about what are the projects that she could do during the pandemic. At the same time, I was developing my projects, and we sometimes exchanged on the ideas. And we're doing graphics sometimes, because also I was like more on graphic design at the time. So yes, this is how we started. So our collaboration is going on pretty long already.
Yeah, actually, yes. The beginning was really online, forcibly.
And it took me a long time to figure out how it's like, first of all, because I had to make the space for the requests I had in my advertising and graphic design business from my clients, to make sure that I have time and capacity to do this exchange, to take care of my responsibilities in Austria, to like make sure that they're taken care of and I can go away. And all of this was also a long preparation process. So to make all of this happen was a bit difficult, but I'm really glad I made it at the end. And now I have been, what I think I really gained an insight to, that like all of this world, which I didn't know before that it exists in this way, to make projects like Orienta has her project Round the Block, which is very similar, a little bit of a different approach in developing it, but the way how it works is yeah, it's similar. It's not the same, but similar. So I think this was really like to understand her way of seeing things, to understand her way of planning a project. She has been going through the budget of my project with me. I've been able to work on a site in the financial district, and I'm actually planning to at some point do it when I got the script finished and everything. So yes, I really did, like, it was a lot of work, to be honest, all of this exchange.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have to say that without the support of still my parents, it wouldn't be possible financially, because Erasmus is a huge help always, but I think it's very important for everyone as a new entrepreneur who starts this to put some money aside for in case things don't go as planned, because this is always something to consider.
Absolutely. And New York is an expensive city, as it is Vancouver, actually. You know, we have in that sense a lot in common. So yeah, for sure, that's a very good advice. But what about the main challenges that generally you think the young entrepreneurs are facing, you know, nowadays, and how do you think the program can help?
The main challenge is definitely how to establish long-lasting relationships with clients, because there are so many existing businesses already. So how to get your clients, how to establish the relationships with them. And I think especially for young people, this is something difficult to understand, because we're so used to using services online and just check. So there is not this personal relationship, which I think I learn a lot from just observing how Orienta develops her, like the relationship with her audience and sustainable client relationships. And I think that's for most young entrepreneurs, since we're so used to everything online and just short-term projects, this is definitely something we will profit from. Another challenge is to organize for visa and everything. Organize the budget, living. That's something, like, I'm glad Orienta helped me to find a place where I could stay, to connect me to some people, because if you don't know in a city, you've never been there and you're moving there for a couple of months, it's definitely helpful if you have someone to help you out with this. And yeah, other challenges, definitely consider how to communicate. This is something I should have thought of before better, how to communicate to your clients that you're going to be away for a couple of months, but at some point you're going to be back. So what I've done is really, I changed my business plan, which is good in a certain point, and people know me, they know my spontaneity, but consider that to make this time and space for you to be away, take care of your clients, that they feel not left behind during this period where you might focus on something else and focus more on the strategy of your own business rather than the client's project. But then make sure at some point you're going to be back and there is going to be, daily life business again. So how to take care of this, or how to change the relationships also.
That's great. So, I mean, if you had to summarize just like the main benefits for you from this.
The benefits is new connections, definitely. A lot of inspiration, like for me, being in a new city, in a new culture, is like, whew, my knowledge explodes from this. And one of the, I think the most beneficial aspect for me is to know that the direction I was working towards exists as an industry, and there are actually many people working in this field. Like everyone in New York is working on new media, film, and performative projects, which I had no access to in Austria, because it's another kind of less experimental, more like opera and established theater production. So there is not this experimental space. I think just to see that this exists and it's possible to make this was the main benefit for me.
Absolutely. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. This is very good. And then we have more questions. So because, you know, I don't want to run out of time here. So I'd like to start asking you questions also. They're coming in as we were speaking. from our participants. So here's the first question is, what are the concrete financial conditions for the guest and the host? I don't know who could answer that question.
Yeah, if you want, I can take over.
Perhaps, yeah.
So especially, yeah, for Canadian host, as you already mentioned, so there is nothing to pay. It's for free. You also won't get any more financial support, but you can definitely benefit out of the collaboration. However, for the European incoming new entrepreneurs, they would get a maximum of 3,500 euros for 3 months. So there's a financial support dedicated for travel, that is 800 euros, and then a monthly support of 900 euros. So 900 euros for 3 months, like each month, and then the 800 on top is a maximum of 3,500. This would be the exact cost for European new entrepreneurs coming to Canada.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you, Linda. I think there's another question. I think it's also for you, can answer that. There's one attendee is asking, can companies from Ontario or Quebec participate?
They actually can participate. So this, our webinar is really the, let's say, the project launch for the territory of British Columbia, because as also Alicia said before, in New York, so you always have to have some kind of local contact point also that ensures that there's always someone you could talk to about the territory if you have questions and stuff. So let's say the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Canada West and the EU Chamber of Commerce in Canada West with us as a partner in Europe. We are responsible for all the companies, host companies located in British Columbia, but there are indeed local contact points also for Ontario and Quebec, and it should be the German-Canadian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. But you can also find some more information on the website iglobal.eu. And there, when you click on apply now, you will reach a certain point where they say, choose your local contact point. And then you will find a map and you will see your European partner. Maybe also that for information, because we have to deal with the financial stuff from Europe. So this is why you will see a European partner, but you can contact them and get some further information.
Great, and I can add that we've been collaborating on numerous projects with the German Canadian Chamber of Commerce in Toronto, who is responsible for Ontario and Quebec. So if you send any questions to us, we can connect you obviously with the German Canadian Chamber in Toronto as well. There's another question here. Is perhaps also Orietta and Katarina could sort of elaborate on that, but how does the hosting take place, and do the aspiring entrepreneurs stay in the host's home similar to a student exchange program? And how long does the aspiring entrepreneur from the European Union or the UK come to Canada for?
I'm not sure if we could answer this question because we're not in Canada, but I think in general.
Well, it's basically based on your experience, because it's going to be the same in Canada as it is in US.
Of course, it depends on the availabilities. I guess if an organization has space to host people, they might find an opportunity for that. But for me, it was, as I said, Orietta did her best she contacted people she knew who had a room available. She offered me that we can find a solution to make it as comfortable and easy as possible. So in terms of that, I think there is a lot of support, but that's something that you just talk about and figure out how each of you feels comfortable, I guess. Mm-hmm. Maybe Linda has to add something, but Linda
might want to elaborate.
Yeah, I would say this is exactly how it works. So actually, it's the responsibility of the person traveling to the destination country. But of course, since it's also an individual and quite personal collaboration, you can, of course, if you have no one or no idea where to stay, you can, of course, also contact your host and maybe see if there's any opportunities. But in general, the host is not, let's say, responsible for finding something. Mm-hmm. And also I can, if it's okay, I see there's the last questions also for how long can the exchange last, and it can be from 1 to maximum 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, excellent. Well, another question is also for you, Linda. You might answer that because it's sort of asking, the person is asking, what are the fields, sectors, industry sectors that the project is focused on, and based on your experience already with the
project? Well, we really noticed that it covers almost all sectors. So as you can see, we have today testimonials from the artistic and theatralic sector, and they have this kind of artistic background. But we also saw, maybe also Alicia wants to add something for New York, but in the global exchanges, we also saw a lot of photography, exchanges, or when it comes to tourism. Also in the European version, we had a lot of, as I showed you the examples, also in the IT sector. It can also range until like legal collaborations, even though it's maybe a bit hard to imagine how, if you have different legal systems, how this could work. But also indeed, they also participated and collaborated on some legal issues. So I would really say it's not limited, and it's open to every sector, every business idea.
Wonderful. Alicia, would you like to?
So yeah, I just heard my name and just wanted to add on to what Linda said. So the sectors that you described are mostly the ones we see as well. So more artistic, you know, just a lot of studios, a lot of architecture firms, actually. We did have a couple of marketing and consulting companies that also, those are quite popular as well. And then just like, you know, cultural organizations, just mostly any sector. Again, the legal ones, as you correctly pointed out, could be probably a little hard. But business organizations in general, definitely, and IT companies also are very popular.
Mm-hmm. I could imagine. And we have actually here in British Columbia, you know, this sector, IT sector is well developed, so there and digital media, so there might be some interesting opportunities, I think. There's a question for Orienta. I'm not sure if Orienta is still with us. It was about how difficult to find, it was difficult to find a match with a young entrepreneur, and how is the selection process structured? No. Yeah, Orienta is here with us. I'm going to repeat the question, Orienta. Thank you.
I heard it. I heard it.
Okay, yeah, excellent.
I get requests all the time through emails. You know, people write to me, and I tend to, I'm really difficult to start with. And so,
but an artist should be okay. Sorry, yeah, that's normal.
I just, you know, so, and I don't have a lot of time, especially now the pandemic. A lot of my collaborators are still not back in the office, so it's really complicated. But what I do, I read what they send me. I read their CV. And I ask questions. I really try to figure out if they know what I make, they have an idea of who I am, what they think, and what their expectations are. And so that makes it quite easy to say no to most people. Mm-hmm. Because they're not really, they're trying, a lot of the entrepreneur, they have great ideas, but I wouldn't even know where to start, you know, with them. So that's what I do. So I always ask, what do you know? What do you think? What do you expect? What are your goals? And then if I think that we might be a good match, I set up a Zoom call, and we go over, I have a few questions, and we see if we are a good match, which you know, you can't really assess it anyway, but you try. You know, the real match is when you're together. So
absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. That was, yeah, I mean, you have to have a little bit of luck as well, obviously, I guess, you know, to have a perfect match, but as close as you can come, you know, you do your homework and ask questions and try and, you know, I think that's actually, you know, the Zoom and the sort of a virtual sort of meetings that that became so popular because of this pandemic. That's the only positive thing that happened recently.
Yeah, although, you know, I'm Italian, all my friends are in Italy, and I've been communicating for 20 years between Skype, WhatsApp, FaceTime, you know, not that we needed Zoom really, but I understand it's a better design platform.
Yes. Excellent. Thank you so much, Orienta. And we have one, there's one more, this could be a last question. I think it is. Actually, there's two more. So there is a question from Jan Grzymski. Could you please elaborate again how the application process looks like, and is application competitive? So that would be a question to Linda.
Yeah, sure. So since it is the first time we're going to implement it in Canada, we also have the local partners, so the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Canada West. If you have any questions and you want to make sure you got everything of the program, if you feel already secure, you can also go on the website. It's iglobal.eu. There is a button called Apply Now, and it's actually quite intuitive. I can already tell you what you need. You have to upload a CV. That's the only document you will need, a current CV. You have to give some information on your company and also some information about your motivation, like what are you looking for? What kind of collaboration are you interested in? What are the skills you could provide to mentor an aspiring entrepreneur? And also maybe what are you looking for? And then you would have a profile on this platform. And yeah, we would be there to support you for the matchmaking. So you can, on your own, you can browse the database of new entrepreneurs, or if it's a bit too complicated or anything, we are there to help you and filter. That's also a possibility. You can filter profiles based on sectors and keywords, languages, or countries. Yeah, this is, I would say, how it works. And then, as Orienta already said, you get maybe some emails from potential interested new entrepreneurs, and then it's an individual and personal exchange. So you just have to find out if you fit, if it's really a match, and then let's say the process starts. But this is especially rather for the new entrepreneurs, since they receive the financial support. So we will be a bit more in contact with them to make sure they got the rules, let's say, of the financing.
Excellent. Thank you, Linda. And one last question is actually also for you. And the same person is asking us, as long as they get to be the host, is the funding application still evaluated on the competitive basis? Yeah, I'm presuming there's more applications than the space is available to be financed. How is this evaluated, and how this process?
Well, actually, yeah, that's a good question. And actually, everyone that fulfills the criteria can participate and make a registration on the profile. And if we see that there's something missing, we would also contact you and tell you, here you have maybe to add some more information. If you're a host and your CV is not complete, we would always be in contact with you and tell you the, let's say, details to change, but actually it's not really competitive. So it's also, again, quite personal, because depends also a bit on how much you want to find someone, rather sooner or later. So if you're very engaged, you can also browse through this platform and find somebody, but it's not evaluated from another instance. Okay, so if you find someone and you want to collaborate, then you only have to make sure together that you fill out the documents that are needed. But there's not really an evaluation or a process of telling people you can't. It's only about the criteria. If someone fulfills the criteria and is engaged to talk to some people in order to see if there's a matching counterpart, that's very fine with us. And we want to support exactly that. Wonderful.
And just another question popped out is someone is asking whether since we mentioned that there was no cost to host entrepreneurs, are there any hidden costs for entrepreneurs?
Good question.
That is a question for Orienta, I guess. I mean, you maybe from your experience, but Orienta could say, are there any hidden costs that you didn't expect all of a sudden?
In a meeting again, because Orienta is very busy, but I think the hidden cost is that she has to spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
Definitely the hidden costs for you.
A lot. No, the question was because there are no, since we mentioned that there is no cost to host entrepreneurs, but really, are there any hidden costs that that you can, testify to?
Well, if time is money, then this is money. But, you can't really quantify it like that. I would say make reference to this idea of crafting the exchange and not as an internship, but as an exchange. So a lot has to do with that relationship and what it is and what shape or what do I buy her lunch? I mean, each one of us in terms of money, and then what is time? How much time do I allocate to foster her project? And what is it useful within what she can offer me? So there's a balance in that, how does the schedule, for example, my schedule changes constantly because I'm always at the mercy of clients, because we need it, so that is a lot of work, so if I have to take care of somebody else's needs or schedule or wanting is complicated,
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't call it hidden costs, I would call it the expenses of a project, within the exchange, and
kind of like any business development, you kind of, try and develop maybe a new business, and then you go and then you have a meeting with someone. Well, do we split the bill or do I actually fit the bill this time? And so it's on an ongoing.
I would say so. The time is short, 3 months, 2 months is really nothing, by especially when you're trying to work on projects, it's not that one of the suggestions is that I would do better next time is to really focus on a specificity, like, make things just really a little bit more focused in my exchange, as not to create either expectations or frustration or too many things, because it's already chaotic, and you cannot really expect too much because there's learning time, so I know my business like that, but how do how do you invite someone else in to understand and still make it interesting, because it's not always interesting,
Yeah, of course.
So, but.
Great answer. Thank you so much. I think that answers absolutely that question. So Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I have one of my longtime collaborators just came in. And I'm
thank you so much for dedicating more time to the project and, you know, helping new potential host entrepreneurs from Canada learn a little bit more and, you know, from your experience.
I would say just do it. You know, if you're interested in young people and learning something about other culture and integrating in your business plan, you know, really, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, it's such a great opportunity. It's a beautiful project, I think.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Grazie. Thank you so much. There was another question I see here, but that's just for us. Someone is asking whether they can get a contact of details, the contact details for Linda. And yes, of course, we will actually share, you know, the presentation, and the Linda's contacts are there. You know, to all the participants, you will receive, you know, email, sort of a follow-up email. And the recording, we actually recording this this webinar. So I believe Linda's contact were on the presentation.
Exactly, they're on the presentation, and I also sent my LinkedIn profile to the chat. So if anyone is interested in staying connected, we are sometimes also posting things on the program. So yeah, feel free to connect.
Wonderful. Well, I think we came to an end of to the end of this this wonderful, interesting webinar. I think, and I'm quite excited about this project, and it's a project that we will coordinate here for the province of British Columbia for 3 years, and so. Yeah, I think it will. This is just the beginning. It's obviously we have some difficulties with the pandemic and the restrictions right now, but you know, we won't start before the fall, and then I can hope that it can only get better as we go, and then we will get more interest, and the program will develop very well here. So basically, you know, at this point, you know, obviously, if you have further questions, you can just contact us. You know how to contact the Italian Chamber or the EU Chamber of Commerce in Vancouver, and you know, basically, we are here to answer any questions and to work together with the Italy-Germany Chamber of Commerce and Linda to develop this program here. At this point, I'd like to thank you all for participation, and I'd like to thank the Italy-Germany Chamber of Commerce in Frankfurt for the great support and help in organizing this webinar. And big thanks to Linda for her time and the presentation and all the help that she provided to us, as well as her colleague Raffaella Saviori for the support as we were applying for the program and coordination here in Canada. Big thanks also to Alicia Biagini from the Italy-America Chamber of Commerce in New York for her interesting presentation and feedback. And obviously special thank you to our testimonial speakers, Orietta and Caterina. Absolutely wonderful feedback that you provided. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and for sharing with us and with potential future hosts, entrepreneurs here in Canada, your insightful stories and experiences. And of course, I would like to also thank our President Charles Boscario and all the Chamber staff for their contributions and for the hard work for bringing this event today to all the participants. Thank you so much for the participation. Goodbye and see you. Goodbye today, and see you hopefully some of you during the project implementation and execution here in British Columbia. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Goodbye.
Thank you.